Do you feel that? A chill down your spine? A sudden sense of overwhelming confusion? It's not a ghost. It's worse. It's Callback Hell 2. Oh my god, look at this. It's like a nesting doll of asynchronous suffering. We fetch the user, then we dot then the posts, then we dot then the first post's comments, then we dot then the first comment's author. I don't even know what this function returns anymore. Today, we are putting an end to this madness. We are going to take this standard beginner promise chain and transform it into clean, beautiful, linear, senior level code using async and await. Welcome back to Elite Tech Club, where we trade Callback Hell for developer heaven. Let's refactor. Async await is the single best syntactic sugar JavaScript has ever added. It doesn't actually remove promises, it just makes them readable. It allows us to write asynchronous code that looks synchronous. No more callbacks, no more dots then chains, just straight lines of logic. It is the definite aha moment of a JavaScript developer's career. Let's set up a real-world scenario. We have 3 fictional API calls. We need to get a user ID, then fetch that user's profile, then get their recent posts. We need 3 functions here. I store them in constants. First, get user ID, assign it to a function which returns a promise, and this promise also takes a function. And here, to pretend that the server is thinking, I use a set timeout function which resolves a number as the user ID. It could be any number, for example 42, after 500 milliseconds, just to pretend that you're sending a request and receive a response. And I copy this code here, get profile, and here instead of a number, they need an object. So profile, for example, Alex, let me zoom out a little, and age as the second property, 28, and finally get posts. This time it resolves an array, post 1 and post 2. Perfect. Now here is the beginner way to call this. Watch this. I add another function to call these functions one after another. So function get complex data, and first of all let's log fetching data, and then we start with get user ID, and since it returns a promise we can call then, and we know that it returns a number as the ID. So after that we can call get profile. Again we can call then, and get profile returns an object. So here I name it profile. After fetching this profile, the third function for fetching the posts will be called get posts dot then. Of course here we need to pass this ID, and here also we need to pass the profile as argument to this function, profile dot name, and then here we have access to posts. Finally we can log something to the console, console.log. I've used template literals here. Success, the user profile dot name, and posts, we log posts. Forgot the S here, posts. Okay, then I save it. Last but not least, I need to call this function get complex data, and I save it. Okay, now let's run this code. I right click and click on inspect, and let me also refresh that and go to the console tab. Yeah, here you see we have this log here fetching data, then success user Alex, and then the 2 posts associated with that user. So seems that it works. Look at this indentation. We are only 3 levels deep and I'm already losing my mind. This is imperative thinking. We are telling the computer how to loop and chain rather than just telling it what we want. Okay, let's go elite. Step 1 to using async await. Here I comment out all of these lines and I write a function get complex data elite, and the first step is to add the async keyword in front of the function's declaration. So async function get complex data elite, and here we log a message elite fetching data, something like that, and wait. How should we call these functions here? This is the next step. By simply adding async to the beginning, this function now always returns a promise. Even if you just return the number 42, JavaScript wraps it in a promise. This is the superpower we need to use step 2. Step 2, the aha moment. We are going to await the result of our promises. This is where the syntax turns from magic into clarity. Check this out. We delete the callbacks and replace them with variables. Here, I just move this code to the top because it does not execute anyway. So here, instead of calling these functions and create this chain of .then, we store them in variables. So first ID, and then we call the function get user ID. But since this function returns a promise, we can add the word await in front of that, and execution pauses here. On the next line, const profile, again await, and this time get profile. Also copy this comment here, and finally posts await get posts. So for example, line 26, this line won't get executed until this get user ID returns a value. And finally, another log template literals elite success, then user, and we use the variable, and after that posts, and the variable is posts. I save it, and also I need to call this function. So get complex data elite, and let's see the result. As you see here, elite fetching data, this line, and after that, yeah, maybe because yes, here I need to access name because the profile is an object. I save it, and now you see we have this message printed on the console. Elite success, user Alex, and posts are post 1 and post 2, as you see here. Chef's kiss, one line at a time. It reads like English. We wait for the ID, then we use the ID to wait for the profile, then we use the profile to wait for the posts. We eliminated all nestings. This is architectural perfection. But wait, seniors assume failure. API calls will fail in production. We need error handling. If an API call fails in a promise chain, we can catch it with a single .catch at the end. But in an async function, we just use the most standard beginner level pattern in programming history, try catch. So here, let's wrap all of these lines in this try block. And let me see. Yeah, missing catch, right? Catch error, and here we simply log a message in the console, elite failed, and then, of course, I should have added the backticks to use template literals, and then error dot message, so we can handle all errors in one place. Handle all errors in one place. Save it. Yeah, now looks good. This is bulletproof code. If getUserID fails, it doesn't crash your app. It immediately jumps into the catch block. This keeps your main logic clean while providing a single safety net. If you want to make an error handler that makes my eyes bleed, that's your business. But for the love of the tech club, use try-catch. There you have it. You have just transformed your control flow from Callback Hell into a masterclass in readability. Are you still writing .then in your app? Let me know in the comments. I won't judge much. If this video was helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you won't miss the next videos. Until next time, keep coding, keep learning, and as always, stay awesome.